Welcome to Soft Talk. Today's presentation is titled Time to Wake Up to an Evolving Health Crisis. Amidst the COVID-19 and the Omicron crisis, the headquarters of the First World have been grappling with an unprecedented and bizarre crisis for quite some time. Even the lesser mortal pundits of the Third World, including myself, have been watching this crisis with keen interest, though we have more important things to do, especially in a crisis situation like this, when working extra hours to earn a bit more has become the new normal. Without beating about the bush, let me delve a deep bit into the first world crisis called the Great Resignation or the Great Quit. What exactly is it, and how did it happen? Let me explain. Occupational health and safety measures enforced to control the spread of the virus, including physical distancing, meant millions of workers started working virtually from their homes. Though an enforced measure, the workers loved it. They found soon enough that there's no place like home, that home is also quite close to heart and not heart alone. With the party over, the employers wanted their workers to return to the workplace, only to find many, especially tech savvy workers, unwilling. Of course, the pandemic drove workers home, including in the third world. What usually happens amidst such pandemics is some introspection, some soul searching takes place, provided you have a soul. Marilano Kechara, as they call it in Nepali. Of course, that's what happened this time around as well. The workers began questioning, do I want to slug it out just like this for the rest of my life? Are the jobs that I am clinging on to really worth it? Many would find that they were not. So they started looking for alternatives. Instead of working for one employer, they started working for multiple employers, many of them virtually. Reports suggest that savvy Americans fell in love with this telework. Gone were the days when one had to go to their offices for those daily, often repetitive chores. The website fortune.com has produced a report citing the Bureau of Labor Statistics records. The report is titled The Great Resignation Rages On as a Record 4.5 million Americans Quit Job. The report points that 4.5 million Americans quit their jobs in November 2021, the month when the Great Resignation was at its peak. The report adds, the rate among those who voluntarily quit was about 3% of workers in November, a high last seen in September 2021, which was itself a new record. An extra 1.4 million people were either laid off from their jobs or fired, and an additional 377,000 workers experienced some other form of separation from their jobs in November. On the basis of BLS, Bureau of Statistics, Bureau of Labor Statistics reports, uh, the report points that the so-called Great Resignation shows no signs of slowing down, although it isn't affecting all job sectors equally. About 6.9% of those working in the accommodation and food services sectors quit in November, while only 1.7% of those working in finance left their jobs. The number of private sector quits, which doesn't include government or farm employees, obviously, hit a new all-time high of 3.4% or 4.3 million workers, according to the BLS. Love for telework was not the only reason behind the Great Resignation. The quitters included those tired of their toxic, thankless, and strenuous jobs in different sectors like construction, hospitality, and healthcare. So much so that some of the workers posted videos of them calling it quits. Those who wanted to start their own ventures, those who found better jobs and opportunities to work with more than one employer, laid off workers and retirees. Apart from the US, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia have also been witnessing the big quit. Analysts are seeing this phenomenon as a rare instance of workers calling the shots instead of the employers. In a way, the pandemic has come as a boon for well prepared, adequately skilled workers, giving them opportunities to land their dream jobs and climb up the peak of self actualization or close by in Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It is quite clear that in hard times like these, workers would not have dared quit if governments had not come to their rescue. Generous paychecks from governments and social support packages really helped. Now, employers are trying hard to get back those workers or hire new ones by offering such lucrative packages as hiring bonuses, relocation allowances, flexible work hours, and teleworking opportunities. All these offers are uh, coming in the first world and not in the third world, not in the third world in general. So that is the sad part. But will those good times for the workers last? That is an important question. Well, nothing lasts forever. There is no such thing called free lunch. There already are indications that 2022 may turn out to be a rough year for the global economy. Uh, the Economic Times, in a slideshow titled Risks to the Global Economy in 2021, published on December 22, 2021, has forecasted some of those risks. For example, we don't yet know whether the China-Taiwan conflict will conflagrate further. Uh, we don't yet know whether the China-Taiwan conflict will conflagrate further and drawing several countries into the vortex of that conflict. Thanks to the Evergrande crisis, fuel shortages, the COVID-19 pandemic, and a series of lockdowns imposed to control COVID-19 and the Omicron wave, uh, ongoing tussles with the US, the global economic powerhouse called China is facing a serious crisis. They are calling it this perfect storm. Any adverse impact on the Chinese economy can send the global economy on a free fall. During the pandemic, food prices have increased all around the world. Similar hikes in the future can spark protests that may turn into super spreader events. Given the ability of the viruses to mutate, we don't yet know what's in store for humanity. On top of it, all's not well with Europe, all's not well with my throat as well. Russia-Ukraine relations have soured, and any conflict between them will escalate gas prices. That will not be a good tiding for a fossil fuel-run global economy. Uh, I don't even dare imagine the consequences if major powers join one or the other party to this conflict. Much will also depend on the fate of the Northern Ireland Protocol. that the European Union and the United Kingdom have been discussing for quite some time as part of this post Brexit arrangement. Lack of progress in this process will impact not only the EU but this interconnected world as a whole. On the home front, much will also depend on how our southern neighbor deals with the COVID-19 pandemic and the Omicron wave. If our past experience is any guide, any outbreak in India makes inroads into Nepal within 15 days to a month, thanks to the border that is largely open on our side. Our, our security personnel are spread too thin along the border, meaning that the chances of spread of the virus through the open border are pretty real. Instead of engaging in this blame game, how about forging better coordination with the southern neighbor to control unchecked human movements? How about keeping only a limited number of border points operational, especially in a critical time like this? When things start returning to normal, we can of course take adequate decisions. Closer home, a massive humanitarian crisis is unfolding in Afghanistan with reports pointing to a mass hunger situation there. Such a situation is likely to lead to this exodus of people to India through Pakistan, and a large part of the displaced population is likely to enter Nepal through the open border and seek refuge here. This is no good news for Nepal, a country finding quite hard to deal with displaced populations from different parts of the world. Anyway, there's no telling what the impact of a full blown health crisis will be on a largely informal economy like ours, economic or otherwise. Past experiences show that we are slow when it comes to learning lessons and doing our utmost to protect the populations, to protect our populations, especially the most vulnerable lot. Therefore, it's time for the state organs to wake up to the threat and start taking measures in consultation with relevant experts, policymakers, and others to minimize the impact of this evolving crisis. With this note, I wrap up this edition of Soft Talk.